Where you at if peeping this shit? Go ahead to youtube.com/WaterWave TV and subscribe to that shit. Yeah, you know the waves in it. Baseball, we're hitting a home run, hit it with the coldest rains. And even on my bad days, I'm a clutch to finish. The track diminish, the booth burnt, hands is itching. Damn.
Welcome to a new episode of WaterWave TV interviews. Today we got a big celebrity in the building, a professional of his own, Dylan Attach Price. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited to be here. That's some big praise, though. I'm just a gamer. I'm just a gamer, man.
You're a professional gamer.
Professional gamer, yeah. I just be chilling.
My first question, I've always wondered this with all gamers. It seems like every gamer uses their gamer tag as their middle name on for publications and whatnot. How did that start, or who was the first person to do that?
I don't know. I don't know who the first person to do that was, but it just kind of sounds, I don't know, just kind of sounds like it just sounds good when you say it. So a lot of people just will have their gamer tag as their middle name instead of their actual middle name, online at least. But yeah, coming up with an alias or a gamer tag, it was one of the hardest things, especially when I was younger. I've spent way too much of my parents' money with Microsoft points on Xbox 360.
I remember those days.
They got mad at me, and then they never gave me their credit card again when I was 12.
What was your first ever gamer tag that you made? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was DMP15. So just my initials and the number 15. And then I went through a phase where I was just changing my name for fun because I didn't understand. I was young. I didn't understand the concept of money yet. So I was just changing my name for fun. I'm like, oh, wait, this is $10 each time. And I don't even want to know how much I ended up spending. So I made sure to pay my parents back for that.
Yeah, it's the money part and even trying to build a reputation of that being that person online too. I definitely, when I first started gaming a lot, because I was on the same path of wanting to be a professional Call of Duty player growing up. I was big into, I think I started with Modern Warfare 2 and then started playing competitive in the Black Ops 1 era, or Modern Warfare 3 era, right around there. And I would always switch my name every few weeks just because it would be cool. I'd think of something new, but then it's no one's gonna know that's you when you're playing with them and whatnot. But yeah, let's get right into it. Where are you from exactly?
I grew up in Moore Park, California.
Okay.
Born and raised. So
what's it like over there?
It's really chill. Nothing too crazy going on. It's about 45 minutes from downtown LA and stuff. So you can get there to Hollywood if you want. The beaches are about 30 minutes away as well, so you can go to the beach and stuff. But it's just a really chill area, not too much going on. And honestly, that's probably why I got into Call of Duty and gaming, because I would play sports, go to school, and I need something to do after school, so I would just go play Call of Duty.
What was the first Call of Duty you bought or played or whatever?
First Call of Duty I bought or played has to be Call of Duty big red one where it was just campaign only. Then the first multiplayer COD I played was Call of Duty 4. Call of Duty 4. I remember I went over to a friend's house and I played him on 1v1 shipment, and I was like, yo, this game is so much fun. I need to get an Xbox 360. And then that's kind of where it all started.
Was off the rip, did you know you wanted to compete at a level? When you said you 1v1'd your friend, was that you had the drive of you want to beat people, or when did that arise of wanting to compete? I
definitely just was always a competitive person, still am. So I just wanted to beat him. And then one of my other friends on my baseball team, he told me about game battles and stuff. And he's like, oh, it's where all the best players play. You can win money. You could climb the ranks in the ladder to get to the #1 spot. And I was like, that sounds so much fun. I'm in 4th grade right now. Yeah. And I was like, yo, that sounds so much fun. And once I learned about that, I saw people were actually playing on main stage, on a stage. Back then, there wasn't thousands of people or hundreds of people watching online or in the crowd. Yeah. But the fact that I could see people in real life playing on stage, I was like, I want to do that. And yeah.
Facts. That's kind of where I was around too. Wait, you're 24 years old?
25.
25 now? Yeah. So yeah, you're a couple years older than me. I'm 23. So I was definitely going around kind of that same vibe of watching game battles grow. And when you were in high school, did you and your friends at high school, did you form a clan and that's who you'd play with, or did you find people online to play with?
I mostly played with my friends in real life in middle school. I think right around freshman years when they all started just focusing more so on sports and other things and stuff. And then I kind of just stuck with gaming. And that's when I really met people online in Call of Duty and was started climbing the ranks of with the competitive players, because I would try to find 8s, which is pickup basketball, for example, of you just find random people to play with and try and practice. And then just trying to find other people that are trying to go pro too. So that's probably like in freshman year of high school is where I really tried to like get my start.
Facts. What was your first, if you remember, the first clan you ever formed with your friends? What was it called, if you remember?
The first team I ever really remember joining was probably in like World at War.
Mm-hmm.
That was just released after COD 4. And I just remember being on this team called Map Gen XV, and we played like hardcore map gen. So like we played all the different game modes and it'd just be hardcore. So it would only take one bullet to kill someone. And looking back on it, I don't know why it was so much fun, because it only took one bullet. So it wasn't that like skillful, I would say. I guess you had to have really good positioning though. But I'd say Map Gen XV is like the only team I really remember from way back in those days.
Mm-hmm. Do you think, so we talked about game battles, and a little bit later on, like UMG came around, like UMG Online with like wager matches and stuff like that. Because there wasn't really a website that you could just gamble on this one game until that came around, right? That was kind of like the pioneer of that age. And I remember there being like a line of like, is this legal? Is this even allowed? Like, but like you're betting on your skill, not necessarily like online gambling or whatever. Do you think that had like a positive impact on like the COD community, like overall, or do you think like it might have bred a couple of addicted gamblers along the way? You know what I mean?
It probably definitely did get some people started gambling, learning about it, and you got to gamble responsible.
Yeah,
but
I don't even know if it was age regulated.
It wasn't. Yeah, there was only a couple states where like it's illegal to play from. I think like was Arizona one of them, and then some
like Utah or something. I remember
there was a
like
couple
2 or 3 states that was like you couldn't play them in.
And some players would like live in those states where they can't like play in the tournaments, so they would like have to get a residence with like their cousins or like their aunts and uncles in another state to like even be able to compete and like get paid from playing in these tournaments. But yeah, I think it definitely helped wager matches, because instead of like having to pay $10 to play a tournament and play that, you could just post a $10 best of 3 on the match finder. Someone accepts it, you play them, whoever wins gets the cash. And it was just easier to play higher skilled people in teams consistently to like get better as a team and a player, and also win money if you won.
That was fun. Dope. I had some friends in high school around that time, and I loved playing the wager matches. I was personally like I gambled a lot growing up, especially once I hit 18, because in Minnesota you could go to the casinos at 18 out here. So that was definitely like something I enjoyed doing. I was definitely not good enough to be doing it as much as I did, but I never really high scaled it too much. But I want to get into your competitive career. I want to talk about like the CWL or early Call of Duty days before the CDL really came around. What age were you when you got on a professional team? Because I think it was before you were 18. Yeah. Because there wasn't that regulation if you need to be old enough. Do you remember like what year that was? It was like. Yeah.
So I turned pro. I started going to events when I was, I believe, Black Ops 2 Anaheim was 2013. I was probably like 15 years old when I went to my first like major MLG event. And then I went pro the following year in Call of Duty Ghost, which that was 2014, and that's when I beat Optic to get like top 8, which was actually that was the same day as my birthday. So it was a pretty good birthday, getting my first ever like top 8 pro placing, and that was like the threshold back in the day when there wasn't a pro league to go pro. Like if you place top 8, like okay, you're pretty good, like you're a pro now. So yeah, Ghost in 2014 is when I first went pro, and then the age thing hit in originally in like Black Ops 2, AW, and Ghost. You had to be 18 to compete at champs, but that was the only tournament. You could be like any age as long as you had like a parental consent and like they signed it at any of the MLG or the UMG events. And then after when Black Ops 3, when the CWL started, you had to be 18 to play in like any of the MLG events or anything. So it was kind of crazy.
Do you think the 18 plus rule was like a good thing for Call of Duty?
No.
One thing I think I noticed is maybe why they did it was because of like trash talking and like maturity at the events. Yeah. 'Cause I remember usually a lot of the videos that surface of people like talking mad trash, it seems to be like the like nowadays, not the CDL events, but like the throwing hole in the wall events. And it's just like 15, 16-year-old kids just going crazy at each other. So that was like maybe my perspective of why they did it. But there is a lot of players that are younger than 18 that are probably better than a lot of these 18-year-olds, at least in the Challengers League.
For sure.
But yeah, I want to talk about 2015 champs when you won with Denial. And you still are, I believe, the youngest player to ever win a championship. I don't know if that'll ever change. It'd have to be someone's like almost 18th birthday going into it.
Yeah.
What you were only, I think I read it before. It was like 18 and 84 days or something like that.
It's
I read
crazy.
the stat. What was your like initial reaction or going into that event? Let's start with that. Did you guys think you were gonna win? I don't remember if you were underdogs or not. I was definitely watching because that was like my heyday of watching all that stuff. But were you favored going into that event? I don't remember.
We were clearly the second best team in the game. We played Optic in season 1 playoffs, and we got 3-0'd by them. Then we played them again in the finals of the regionals to qualify for champs, and we got 3-0'd again by them. So like they were the best team in the game. We were the second best. I think they were on a 3-peat also at the time. So like they were just dominating everyone. And our team, kind of like the way it formed was kind of crazy. We were kind of like the scraps. Like JCap and Clayster got like dropped off Envy, Replays, and myself. We were teaming with Zuma and Saints at the time, and they left to go to another team. They went to Envy to take their place because like we placed like 5th and 3rd, so like it was okay placings, but they thought they could do better over there. And so we were kind of just like the scraps of all the players, and we just formed. And something just kind of clicked right away where we like, okay, we could do this. Like, we definitely have a shot at like making a run. Practice was going well. We went to those tournaments, got second, and then before champs, like it was just like super extra grind time. Like, I would go to school, get home at like 3:20, and play from 3:30 until 10, 11 at night every day, and then go to sleep and repeat, do it again. We were just so well prepared for that, and we were actually playing at champs in pool play because there was 4 teams in each pool. Depending how the top 2 teams in the pools go out to the bracket, and it was really easy to make it out of pool. There was only like one other good team, and then there was like 2 bad teams in your pool. So we smoked the 2 bad teams, played the good team. We're up 2-0. I'm like in the booth on the main stage. My friends from my hometown are like there watching in person. I'm like looking in the crowd, throwing up peace signs, just going crazy and besting around while we're in the match. And then we get reverse swept and lose. And it was just funny because it actually works out because since the reason we lost that, and so we ended up playing Optic Gaming round 1 in the bracket. And that was the best time to play them because like they weren't warmed up really. Because when you play them in like the finals, they were firing all cylinders, like everything's going well. So I was just super excited once we got matched up with them. I just got this overwhelmingly confident feeling in myself and the team. And then we went out there and just beat them.
Fire. Yeah, you had some. Was Clayster and JCap like? They probably weren't like veterans at that point, but they were like they've been in the game a little bit longer. So like you had some good leadership on a team. Did they like take control of the team at that time, or like who was like the in-game leaders?
I would say JCap, and honestly all of them. JCap Replays, because Replays is the coach of Atlanta FaZe now. He had a very successful playing and coaching career. Clayster and JCap, they're all legends in Call of Duty and really smart players. So I was just lucky to have all of them like surrounding me because each one of them was really good at like different things and like different ways to like learn and grow as a player. So I learned a lot from each of them. JCap and I would always go to war. It was we used to be scrimming. We weren't the nicest to each other. Let's just say that. There's videos online of him and I going back and forth, me being a little shithead 18-year-old, just arguing with him. Even though he'd be right about a lot of things and I would listen, I wouldn't say I was listening, or you wouldn't think I was, but like I was always listening and fixing my own gameplay. But then I'd just be like roasting him back and forth. But nah, it helped me develop a lot as a player and like how to play as a team and how to play Call of Duty the right way. And I mean, that's the reason why we're successful and won.
How does the grand prize for the winner was $400,000? How does that split work between the 4 players and the organization, or how does that work exactly?
Yeah, prize money and like the split is a little bit different now. It depends on like your own contract with your organization. But back then there really wasn't like a prize split with the organization, because back like there I think we had a salary on that team.
Okay.
I think we had a salary. I think it was like $500 a month or something, but it wasn't like really official as it is now. So there wasn't a prize split with the team. So we just got each $100,000 and then like taxes, of course. That's when I learned about taxes and how not fun they are and why
especially
everyone hates
living
them.
in California. I'm sure taxes aren't nearly as nice as it is over here in Minnesota now.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I made 100K. Oh wait, half of it's gone already. What the heck?
So you basically all four got to split it 4 ways.
Yeah,
that's kind of how it went. I've always wondered how that worked. I guess it would depend from team to team and what kind of contract they build with you and whatnot for it to be worth for like the Denial Esports brand. What do you remember like the first things or what you did with your share of your prize pool?
The first thing I really did, or not even I really did, but my dad did, for me, he invested in some like Apple stock, back then, which is good. Other than that, I was just able to buy lunch every day at school, because like we had this thing when you were like a junior, I think you can go off campus and you could just go anywhere as long as you're back in time. You could just go buy food. So I had money for all that, because beforehand, like I would sometimes have money, like if I went to like a local California land, I would win it. I won like pretty much all of them except for like one. So I would make like a couple hundred, like $200-$300. So I would like use that money for lunch, and then I'd run out at some point until I went to the next one. And so whenever I won champs, I was able to like eat lunch every day, and then I'd pay for some of my friends' food too. So it was that. But other than two, I mean, probably some clothes too, because that's when I was really like into clothing back in high school.
Yeah, so that's definitely good that at least your dad gave you a little bit of guidance, didn't just be like, yeah, buy whatever you want. Cause he would've, I mean, knowing probably what I would have bought when I was 18, it would have just been a lot of food, a lot of clothes, a lot of probably video games. I don't even know what I would have bought, but it definitely wouldn't have been any investments back then. Maybe a car, maybe. I don't even know what I would have bought. When you went back to school after that, because it is kind of crazy to me that you would even still, like, you still have to finish high school, but like being in high school and being a professional Call of Duty player, like playing at the highest level, and then like, but you have to go to school today and they'll practice after class. Like that's just like a crazy thought. Like when you went back to school after that, was it like you just won the state championship? Did they treat you like, was there a parade? Was there like an assembly for you, or was it just like, if you know, like,
yeah, it was kind of like all that. Like all my friends already knew. A lot of them already came to the event to watch me, and then even more of them came after we won to like our hotel, where we just had a good time and celebrated. But then when I went back to school, the actual school itself was like super supportive, which was really cool, because I think senior year I missed like 70 days, because that was like our busiest season we had in Call of Duty. I think we had like 14 or 15 tournaments, which is crazy. And so I would always miss Thursday, Friday, and Monday, and we had so many tournaments, so I missed so many days, and I was like always like wondering if my school's gonna get mad at me because I'm missing too many days. They're gonna kick me out or something. But one of the security guards at my school actually worked security at COD Champs at that event. So before the tournament started, my friends like brought me to the security guard, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm working at this thing this weekend." I was like, "Oh no way, I'm playing there." And I don't know. I think I might have seen her there. I don't really remember. But then when I got back from school, or back to school, I got pulled out of class one time. Like the yard duty came and got me, took me to the principal's office. I was like, "Oh shit, like what's about to happen right now?" And then I went to the principal's office, and they had like a poster from the tournament, and they just had me like sign it. And I was like, okay, that's dope. So I wasn't in trouble or anything. And then all my teachers were really like super chill about it. Like they would work with me to like get the tests and everything I had to make up. So they were honestly awesome. Like other kids would walk into class, and they would like in the younger grades, and my teacher would be like, "Why are you late?" and get like mad at them. And then I'd walk in late, and they'd be like, "Oh, hi Dylan, how was your weekend? How'd your tournament go?" Like all this stuff. So they were super supportive, which was definitely a blessing.
Yeah, I think it helps when like the reason why you're not showing up, you're late, is you're actually pursuing like your dream or a career, which is like the whole point of going to high school, is finding your dream and your career. Yeah. So they couldn't be too mad unless you just get that one stickler teacher or something that's like, no, gaming isn't that, this and that, whatever. So around that time, like the CWL or even pre-CWL time compared to like now with the CDL, what do you like that like pre-CDL like did? Like I think with like the organizations, how there was just so many different brands involved was like really cool to me, and how it wasn't too like strict on like, you need to do this, you need to do that, or it needs to be, you need to base, I don't even know. Like, I guess it's cool that it's like professional, but I feel like there's still a lane for like a side league to have like these organizations come back, like the Denials, the Rise, even though some of them are like involved with these brands that you just don't even really realize it because it's under a different name. I guess what was different back then than it is now? I
mean, now is like you said, the hardest part is being an organization, because I think you have to pay like $20-25 million to get into the Call of Duty franchise league, which is just insane. I personally don't have that laying around. They could just drop that bread to buy a team. But back then, you could just start up a team at any time. You could find a player or two and then kind of build around those players. And I was part of Rise Nation. And they were like one of the best organizations I've ever been on. And they still like treated their players great throughout the whole time like they were in Call of Duty. And I know they still really want to come back in like the franchise league, but it is a really big investment to make to join this league now. So back then, like you would just go to the CWL Open events and there was just so many different orgs. You had the FaZe, you had the Team Caliber, you had like the old school Optic Gaming back in the day.
Curse and
like Farico,
like,
Impact, Rise Nation, Epsilon, just like there's just so many different.
Yeah, like it's just all these brands that were just like striving gaming brands that would just basically be like, yeah, I'll cover your team pass in your hotel and you can go play for us or whatever the gig may be. And there still is a little bit of that with the Challengers League. It seems like that people are just kind of looking for orgs to represent. Like they have a team of 4, they want their stuff paid for, and will wear your jersey at the event or whatever it is. But it just felt a lot more organic back then, and a little bit more like anybody could win this event.
Exactly.
And I do like how they did the the challengers and the pros, like what was that called when the tournament they played against each other?
The Pro-Am?
Yeah, the Pro-Am.
The Pro-Am, yeah.
Like that was kind of like it kind of gave me that nostalgic feel of like, dang, like anybody could win this event. It's not like the challengers have their own event and the pros have their own event.
Yeah.
And I do think like I like that idea, and they should do that a little more often, like an open bracket thing to where you can get into the pool play. Like, I do like that. I want to talk about like you being on FaZe before. What did that do for your career? Did they inspire you to become more of a content creator, or like how did that go for you being on FaZe? Oh,
being on FaZe definitely inspired me to be a content creator. Even when I was younger, I'd watch like Nadeshot, Scump, Hex, like all of Optic because they were in Call of Duty. And FaZe was back then like still in like trick shotting and stuff, which I wasn't really into at the time. I was just more so into competitive. So like I knew how important it was to grow a brand. And when I joined FaZe, I already found some success winning like COD champs. I joined FaZe, and I mean FaZe was all about like the content and stuff and just doing crazy things. And they definitely help me continue to do or to learn how to do it and continue to do it, and just build a brand, because like it's so important for like after you're done, because you can't play forever. You're gonna be old and slower reaction time and not as good at some point, so you want to have something you could fall back on after or pursue after, whether it be streaming, YouTube, or whatever you want to do. But it just gives you more options when you build a big brand and people recognize you. But yeah, FaZe was just it was still super young back in those days. Like I can't believe they were just like 23, 24-year-old kids like running a huge organization like that. And I just have so many amazing memories traveling with them to tournaments, traveling with them around the world, and just going out partying, winning, and just going to like the old school New York house where they'd all make content, and just hanging out there for like a couple weeks before like a tournament. When I would like practice from there, they'd make videos, and it was just like a really, really fun time.
Yeah, that was definitely like my whole childhood, that whole Nadeshot and FaZe and Optic growing and whatnot. There's also a time when it started. Call of Duty started on Xbox and then eventually switched to PlayStation. Do you have a preference? Did you enjoy the Xbox controller or the PlayStation controller? And I guess now it's on PC, so you can kind of choose, right? People can kind of choose.
You can use PlayStation, PS5, Xbox One. You can use any kind of like controller right now. Yeah.
Were you upset when it switched to PlayStation? Were you excited about it, or what was like? Because that was like. It was, I think Call of Duty Ghosts is when they switched to Xbox One, so I think it might have been like the season after
and then,
that.
I remember at COD Champs in AW, if you just went to the COD Champs in AW, you got a PS3 or PS4. I think you got a PS4. Just for competing in that tournament, because then it switched in Black Ops 3 to PS4, so everyone got one.
They just gave you the PS4.
Yeah,
like you're gonna need it anyway.
Yeah,
so
they shipped it out to all. There was I think like 32 teams or 16 teams, so all those players got a free PlayStation just for being able to make it to COD Champs. So that was pretty dope. And then, but yeah, growing up, I had a PlayStation, I had Xbox 360, but I was always Team 360. I still think Xbox 360 is by far the best console we've ever seen. Like the party chats you could do, the controller felt amazing. Like in my hands, I just love the controller. There was just so much, like it was so much fun. The friends list, you only have like 100 spots in the friends list.
Yeah,
so
like it was like if you're on there, then you're something.
Yeah, you're kind of
like,
flexing.
If you get on someone on the FaZe members friends list, it's a flex. You got FaZe whoever on your friends list, it's a flex.
Yeah, exactly. You got like FaZe and Optic, and people are like, oh my god, this guy's like, he's good, like he's known or something. But yeah, that was Xbox 360 was so much fun back in the day.
So do you use an Xbox 360 controller currently, or are you?
Nah, I use a PS4 controller now because we switched in Black Ops 3. And then we played Black Ops 3 and like the rest of the games on PlayStation. So I'm just so used to that controller now. It would just be hard to switch back. And like I'm still playing really well with it. So there's no reason to like switch.
Is there any players that have gone back to the old generation, like or at least a 360 controller that play in the professional league? Do you know?
I don't know about 360, but I know there is some players that play like Xbox controllers and stuff. I don't know exactly who, but there is people that like all have all different types of like controllers and configurations for it. So it's you could pick whatever you want as long as it has USB input. So you're good.
Are you a fan of playing on PCs?
Yeah, I like playing on PCs. The technical difficulties and stuff and all that's kind of annoying, but the capabilities of it, like all the frames you get and how smooth the game is, it's definitely worth it. There's just so many settings on your computer and in game. I'm just like, oh my god, this is stressful.
Yeah, like you could pick them to what's gonna help you, but if you do too much, you maybe feel like it's gonna hurt you, and then it's all a mind game at that point. Yeah,
like if you have all your settings on like high and stuff, your frames you might not get as many frames, in which if you have 10 or 20 frames, that might be the difference between getting a kill or not getting a kill and seeing something in the game. So it's I didn't come from a PC background, so I always ask people for help when it comes to like settings and all that type of stuff who know about it, because I was always just a console kid growing up. But I like the capabilities of the like really good refresh rates and monitors and PCs are worth it.
That reminded me, I remember it was like, I think it was back in the day when like Complexity's Dynasty was going on with Crimsix, TP, Aches, and Clayster. Yeah, I think their whole team would switch their Xbox to easy mode before they would play, something like that. I don't know if you remember it. Like,
I remember that.
I remember that being like a headline, and I don't know if there's any like funny setting like that on a PC, but I just jogged that in my memory. It's kind of funny. Do you remember the first time you ever used a SCUF controller? And like how that like just like unlocks something in your brain that you're like, holy shit, like I can't like ever go back to anything else? Or do you how do you play with the controller if it's not with the paddles? I still use a SCUF to this day with the paddles. It was actually really funny. The first day I got my SCUF, I told my friend I was gonna go to like Disneyland with him and his family because they were going, and my SCUF arrived that day, and I was pissed. I was like, I gotta cancel. I can't go to Disneyland. I want to play so bad because I just got my first SCUF ever in Black Ops 2. But I was like, I can't cancel. I gotta go with them. And so that whole time I was at Disneyland, I was just having I was having a good time, but I was just thinking in my head, I wish I could be playing Call of Duty with my new SCUF right now. And it definitely changed like me as a player, and it just opened my eyes because like everyone had SCUFs back in those days, like all the pro players, all the good players and known players, but I never was like had the money to like just buy a SCUF. My parents were just gonna buy me a $200 controller out of nowhere. So like once I started like winning some local lands and stuff and started saving up, I was able to buy one. So that just opened my eyes. I was like, oh my god, like people were actually cheating using a SCUF controller. Like people were, it was a cheat code, and I finally got one. And then the other big thing I got was a monitor. Once I got a monitor, at the end of Black Ops 2, I literally became like the sickest online joke. Like I played a tournament with all the pros, and I dominated all of them when I had a SCUF and a monitor now, because I was on the even playing field. That's so crazy to think about. Like getting like back then, like now gaming's so saturated that it's like everybody has a monitor. Everybody either has a nice PC setup or a SCUF controller if you're actually playing competitively and whatnot. But back then it's like I remember when the first thing I ever bought when I opened up a bank account, it had a debit card, was a SCUF controller. That was the first exact thing I ever bought, and I remember like whenever when you open a bank account, they give you like your little thing where you can write down your statements and stuff to keep track of it back in the day. And I remember I wrote that down. I was so proud. I was like, SCUF controller, whatever, $205 or whatever it was. And then the monitor came after that, after playing on a box TV for a while. And it just changed the way I even looked at like what video games could be. And so do you play like just default and then you use like the paddles to jump and slide, or how do you play with the controller? I play my settings are like tactical flipped on the PS4 controller now, so I shoot with my bumpers and throw like a stun with my left trigger and a nade with my right trigger. And then the back left paddles to jump,
right paddle is to beat down. So yeah, that's still what I only use 2 paddles still. There is the controllers that have like 4 paddles and you can do all that, but I personally think 2 paddles is more than enough now.
Yeah, that's what I'd be using as well. So let's get into kind of where we're at now. Being on the Minnesota Rocker, what's the vibes like in Minnesota? I know you're from California, and have you spent a winter out here?
Yes,
right?
I experienced my first Minnesota winter this past year.
So I guess what's like the environment like in Minnesota for you?
Minnesota winter, I wasn't too big of a fan of. It's very cold. Like I lived in New York for a little bit, and I was like, oh, it's pretty cold. It's like 20 to 40 degrees in the winter, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cold. But then I experienced a Minnesota winter, and I was like, oh my god, for 2 months or 3 months out of the year, it's -15. This is crazy. It's like painful to walk outside every day unless you're all like bundled up. So that was tough for sure, because I just like going outside, running around, getting some sun, just getting fresh air, and you really can't do that in the winter without suffering. So it's definitely a new thing to get used to, and it was a good experience to just kind of like see how it is. But now that it was like spring, everything's all green, everything's growing. It's beautiful in Minnesota. I'm a big fan of the Minnesota spring and summer and stuff, but the winter is pretty tough.
What about like the headquarters? I got to go tour there one time, and it looked great. It was during like the COVID time where everything was locked down, so there wasn't very many people there, so I didn't get to really see it on full swing. But it seemed like the practice areas and everything was pretty cool over by it's next to the Vikings practice field, right? So yeah, is it like I don't think every team doesn't have a spot like that, do they?
Nah, not every team has like a huge facility like that with a super nice office. I mean, it's amazing. They have a scrim room for our team, the female Valorant team, the version 1 Valorant team, the Rocket League player and stuff. So like they have just so much space for all the teams, and then they have like people just that work at version 1 working there every single day. So like it's a huge space, and it's a really dope office. And you definitely got to come back to see like it all, because it's crazy now. You're probably not even gonna recognize the place with all the new designs and stuff. But it's amazing. I really like going to the facility every day, because even just like practice, whenever I walk in there, I'm like, all right, it's time to go to work. It's time to lock in, and it kind of helps me get in that like mindset to like get better and just get everyone into that. We're not here to mess around.
So you enjoy like going to the spot and playing with the team instead of just online?
Yeah.
Or whatever, separate from each other?
Yeah, I think my favorite or my least favorite thing about gaming, my 2 least favorite things are I hate sitting inside, I hate sitting down, I hate being inside. So like those are the 2 worst things. I guess I picked a pretty bad career with those, but nah, I still love it. But it's just those are the 2 things. So I like going somewhere else and like being with other people in person. So like if you're practicing, you can make sure everyone's paying attention. You could talk to them face to face instead of just like over a mic where they could be on Twitter or whatever on their computer. You don't know if they're listening or not. So I think being in person and being in a super nice world-class facility like that is really helpful.
And what do you think of the fans? I guess in Minnesota, we luckily got there's 5 majors this year, something like that.
4, only 4 this year. Yeah, it was 5 last year.
So not every team gets to host a spot, but luckily Minnesota got to. So you got to like stay home for an event, and the fans seem to show up pretty well. Like I know, like we definitely didn't place as well as we would have liked to and whatnot. We didn't have a very good start in the bracket from position wise, but I guess like the fan engagement. Like, how do you think Minnesota fans are compared to maybe some other markets that you've seen?
No, I mean, one of the things I will say about the CDL franchising is that you really do see the locals coming out and supporting your team. When I was on the New York team, people from New Jersey, New York, they're all diehard supporting me in my streams and stuff. And now I'm on Minnesota. All the Minnesota people are supporting me. So that's one thing that is good about franchising, that you get the local markets involved. And the Minnesota fans are they're just diehard. They're with you through it all, the thick and thin, when you get last or when you get first. So when we won last year, it was an amazing feeling to because I know Minnesota sports teams aren't really known for too much winning. And the way we won last year with like the 0-4 comeback versus Toronto Ultra, our rivals, it was just amazing. And I was just so happy to win for like the fans, the supporters, the organization, and everyone in Minnesota, because it was just they're like great. Like I don't have anything bad to say about the organization or the people here. So it's fun. And then when we were walking out on stage to play Optic at our home Major 2, that was the first time I've ever seen Optic Gaming. I never thought in a million years at a COD tournament Optic Gaming would be getting booed by another by like a crowd in COD, because that just never happens. Usually you're the one getting booed versus them. And so I was like, when the Rocker supporters were booing them, I was like, yo, we got to turn up, like let's go. It just got me hyped. But yeah, no, I love all the Minnesota supporters, whether they're in Minnesota or wherever they're at around the world, because we got a bunch around the world too, in different countries. So they're always showing love.
Yeah. Whoever put together that intro with the fireworks and stuff did a really good job. So shout out to them. I'm sure you probably know, who is it? Chris Vander.
CV. That's CV right there. He's nonstop.
That intro was hard. The video and the fireworks, and like I remember I had chills. I was like, dang, I feel like I'm at some like real crazy shit like this. This is wild. And then like another thing with the Rocker, I don't know who did the whole hiring process and for people in their positions and stuff, but it seems like everyone's great people. Cassie's right over here, doing her job
she's great.
Well. But then you got like the coach Saint, who's been around forever, Midnight for like content creator, director, something like that, somewhere around those lines, right? Which is like huge, and huge because I think a lot of the orgs like don't do the best on creating content, but it seems like besides like even FaZe doesn't really do as much with the Atlanta FaZe team as I think they should be doing or could be doing, but like Optic is up there, 100 Thieves is up there, and then I'd say the Rocker is right in the mix with them when it comes to content creation and getting these fans outside of Minnesota to buy in that maybe don't have a team in their city or whatever it may be. And then even like a co-owner with Gary V in there, I know he's not like in the picture like every day like a lot of the players may be, but like it's a good solid group of people around that like can really push an organization for real, like from the ground up. And I guess have you got to meet Gary V and talk to him yet?
We talked to him a little bit online. He was at the office when we were scrimming the other day, but we were like practicing and stuff in the middle of practice, so we didn't have time to really like say what's up to him and talk to him for a little bit.
Oh, it's probably for when VCon
VCon was out, because our team went to VCon to like stream that day. They had like the Rocker, like V1 had like streaming setups and stuff, and I don't know if they did like other things, if they let like other people just there like play and stream some video games, but we went there and it was pretty dope. So yeah, I mean the Minnesota Rocker org is great. Like anything you need, they're gonna get it for you and take care of you. So it's definitely one of the best, if not the best org I've been a part of for sure.
Speaking of VCon, are you into crypto NFTs or anything like that? Is it over your head?
I invested in crypto way back in like 2017. Or 2017. No, I think it was 2018 actually. A lot of Call of Duty players were in at the time.
Yeah.
And we were just all like, would have big calls and we'd all start investing, and we're like, oh my god, like people were picking out which color Lambos they want. Like, I'll get the light blue. I got the white one, the black one, the murdered out, the red one. And then that's when crypto hit like a super duper crash. It went down to like $100 like Ethereum or something crazy like that. Now it's still kind of crashing too, but I'm in crypto a little bit. I'm not too big into NFTs or anything like that. I haven't really learned too much about it. So I'm invested, but I'm not like super into it, know anything about it.
Yeah, I mean it's almost like pick your poison on what you want to invest your time in to make money. Like that's what I've learned. Like I was big into it, like stocks and crypto when like COVID happened, because everything was crashing, and me and all my friends, we all made good money off of it. Like an extra $5,000-$6,000 each here and there, and that's how we ended up actually opening the spaces. That was the initial funding for to paint the walls, to buy this table, to buy the racks, to buy the initial inventory.
That's sick. So
it definitely can work out for some people, but like if you depending on what time you get in, because right now we're in the biggest bear market crypto's ever seen, where everything's down like 75, 100+%. For a lot of things, so it's definitely not. It's still a risk. Still gotta know what you're doing.
Oh, definitely.
This is a question that you answered years ago, and I want to see if your answer's changed at all. What's the difference between a good gamer and a pro gamer?
I don't even remember answering that question back in the day. A good gamer, well, the biggest thing is just if you're a good gamer, you're good individually. Like you know what to do to in Call of Duty get kills on the map, or go on a high kill streak, or just get a nuke, whatever it may be, or be able to win a game mode. But when you're a pro gamer and you're in a team environment, you have to be able to work with your teammates and know the difference between smart plays and bad plays in Call of Duty. Like when you push up something on the map and you get 2 kills, you would think it's a really good play, but sometimes that's really bad play and really bad timing to where it gives the other team the advantage if you do that. So you have to know when to make plays and know when to not make plays, and when you kind of just have to chill and like let the game come to you. I don't know. Well, how close was I?
That was basically spot on from the exact.
Was it?
So it was you answered it right after you won COD Champs, and you were like talking really fast because you were so excited, but you basically said that exactly. You're like, good players can go into pubs and get a bunch of kills, but in professional, you have to have a strategy in a 4v4 setting. So you basically ended up saying, I didn't know if it changed recently how to be a good professional gamer. Do you have? So we talked about it a little bit earlier, but do you have plans for like what you want to do when you decide to retire from being a professional?
I don't know if I have set in stone plans for sure. I think I have a lot of options and things I think about. But I think I want to play at least like 3 more seasons. I want to play until I don't have the love or the drive to compete, or if I'm not good enough anymore. Like I don't want to be that guy in a team just like trying to stay in the pro league who just is getting shit on. But nah, I just want to keep playing for like probably like 3 maybe 4 seasons. We'll see. But after, I think I don't know if I want to do content, if I want to go into like something with Call of Duty, like a commentator type desk job. I really don't know what I want to do. It's just gonna have to be when that time comes. I'll see. But I feel like I might dive into content when I do retire, because I've been doing content for like fun on the side for like years while I've been a pro, and I found some pretty good success so far. Nothing crazy. But what if I could pull like my all into it with the way content like is nowadays and how it's always evolving? It could be really fun. So I think I'd be stupid not to at least try it for a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say you built your brand up good enough to where you could stream and have your YouTube channel, and you could collect checks that way, and then maybe do some other type of stuff on the side as well, just to like fill your time up. But yeah, I think commentating would be kind of cool too, to see you commentating aside, because like who does it now? It's like Nameless, that were previous players like Nameless and Study and
they got like
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man was doing it for a little bit, and like then you got like Maven, Miles, Merc, Chance, Lando. Like so, there's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of them, but like it seems like there's always new ones filtering in and out throughout there.
Yeah,
finding their own ways.
Yeah.
Is there any, speaking of like older players, is there any older players that you think like still have it that maybe aren't on a team right now? I know like Clayster's kind of in limbo with everything. Like, is there any players that still have it but just don't really have the chance right now?
Yeah, I think like Clayster for sure. He had a really bad like start to the season on New York. Like his statistics weren't good, but there's a lot of reasons like for that. And it also could be he just wasn't playing good, but he could be like you're in a bad system with like, and the teams just don't work. Like what their roster might have thought it was gonna work, it just didn't work out how they saw it. And so like people are gonna struggle if you're not in the good position, like winning and holding hills and getting time. And if you're always trying to like break against the other team, and then you have to like trying to gun them out when they're 2v1ing you, or they have better teamwork than you. So like Clayster is still a really good player, really smart player. We see him time and time again win and find success. I think it was just a bad mix-up of players, and then that's just how it works. Like you might be the odd man out, you get dropped, you kind of have to like rebuild back up. But I definitely think we'll see Clayster in the Pro League again, because I mean everyone knows how good he is and how smart he is, and like the hype he brings as well. So I think he'll be back.
Yeah. Am I allowed to swear on here? Okay. So I have like this kind of like a little segment to kind of finish it off. I'm gonna pick 3 Call of Duties, and it's gonna be like fuck, marry, kill type of thing. Basically, so you can play the COD one more time, you can play it forever, and then you gotta get rid of it.
Okay, I got
So
you.
I got MW2, Black Ops 1, and Advanced Warfare.
Oh, okay. So MW2, Black Ops 1 okay, this is easy for me. I'm a clear Black Ops 1 hater. I hate Black Ops 1. Zombies was fun though, but I hate multiplayer. Black Ops 1 is dying for sure. It's out of there. And then Mary, fuck. There's MW2
and Advanced Warfare.
Are we just talking overall as a casual or competitive game, or just like overall?
If you can click play on your PlayStation one more time and then it's gone forever, or it'll be on your PlayStation forever.
Okay, I'd probably fuck Advanced Warfare. It was a great game. It was really fun, like the first of its kind in Call of Duty, and I love the jetpacks and like the dashing when you were like dashing back and forth, and like someone would shoot at you, you dash to the side, you dash back, you shit on them, and then like you two-piece another guy. But if you do play that game too much, I was 18 and my hands were kind of sore when I was getting done playing that game for 12 hours a day. So if I played that game for the rest of my life, my hands would be done. They would be done. They wouldn't be working. So I'd probably marry MW2. I'd probably marry MW2.
Did you play an MW2? Did you play a lot of like the little mini games people would make, like Michael Myers and like stuff like that back in the day? I forget the other ones, Cops and Robbers, like on Terminal and shit.
Yeah, and always all those fun games in Private Match, and then like the GB ladder tournaments and stuff. Like I was just finding stuff to do in MW2 and just having fun.
Facts. Next one. What's the best pregame music?
Pregame music?
If you listen to music, I guess, particularly pregame.
I used to. I don't know. This is like weird. Like I go through phases. Sometimes I'll listen to music, and sometimes I just won't really listen to music before the game. For me personally, I don't even really listen to like crazy hype up music. Like, you know, a lot of people listen to like Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mill or something. A lot of the times I'll just listen to some chill type of music. What would I listen to? I listen to a lot of Blast. He's a dope artist from LA. I listen to him a lot. Maybe some Jay-Z here and there, or some Kanye. It kind of just depends what mood I'm in. But I'm never like sticking to like one artist or always listen to music. Sometimes I just don't even listen to music. I just go in and take care of business.
What about best pregame food?
Ooh, best pregame food. What I in the morning, I always like to get a little workout in, get the blood flowing, a little sweat going. So I'll have like 2 eggs and like a protein shake. After then, chill for a little bit, and then I'll eat like grilled chicken or something. I just eat like grilled chicken, and then I go play the match. But that's the usual go-to game day meal.
Canned or powdered energy drinks?
Probably canned.
Is there a reason?
Because sometimes like the powder doesn't get mixed as well all the time, and then it's kind of just be like, it'll be like it make your throat like raspy or something. Like you just kind of feel it feels uncomfortable. So like when it's canned, it's just smoother.
And then last one, jetpacks or boots on the ground?
Jetpacks, for sure. It was a lot more fun with jetpacks and stuff. Like it was just, and you could smoke people like a lot easier. Like 'cause there was a bigger skill gap. So if you had a better shot and better movement, you could tell versus another player. But in boots on the ground, I like it as well. You just have to be smarter and better positioning. Because if you are in the better positioning, you're more often than not going to get the kill. But in jetpacks, like you could kind of just be out in the open, jumping around, flying, and then like just destroy someone.
Do you think one has like a more of a skill gap than the other?
Yeah, I would say jetpacks has more of like individual like talent skill gap, whereas boots on the ground is more like you have to be a little bit smarter and like in the better positioning and like patient and know when you got to go and make your play.
Yeah, percent. Well, that's all I got for you today. I appreciate you coming by the Waterway
Thank
Shop.
you for having me.
Yeah, even though you've been here before, shout out Piff. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy that you were here a few years ago before it was even us in here. But yeah, best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
I hope we can hold down the top 8 spot, make it into champs. Is there any spot? Do we know where champs is going to be at? Is that announced?
Yeah, they announced it in LA at the Galen Center in USC. So that was where champs was last year. So we're going back to USC.
Cool. There will be watch parties for the next few majors to qualify. Is there any spots for those yet, or just be on the lookout for the flyers? Yeah, follow Minnesota Rocker on all socials. It'll be in the link along with Dylan's and ours. Make sure you tap in with them. I've been to one of the watch. I went to the watch party. It was in St. Paul when they had the purple Rocker drink and the Rocker logo on the ice cubes. Yeah, I think it was Billy's a while ago. It was like the first season. Yeah, I went to that one. It was pretty cool, and that's what. Yeah, that was our little intro into meeting the Rocker family.
That was dope.
But yeah, is there anything else you'd like to add before we finish off?
Nothing much. Just shout out Rocker, shout out Waterwave, and all the Minnesota supporters, everyone in Minnesota, and then let's close the season out strong.
Awesome. Yep. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow all of us on social medias. Come check our shop out, 1521 Como Avenue Southeast. We got vintage hype shoes. We got a recording studio in the basement if you want to book your time. If you make music or if you want to start making music, waterwavetv.com. You can do that. If you want to do a podcast with me, look in the description. The email will be there to inquire about that. But yeah, appreciate you coming in again. This is hopefully we'll be able to get into the gaming community a little bit more. Gaming was my first passion, so it's dope to be able to still be in it.
Yeah,
still be
yes,
in
sir.
here.
Now, hopefully, hopefully you can keep it going. Get some more dope creators here, and then maybe start your own gaming studio here.
Yeah, we got Waterwave Gaming in the works. We got a logo. So it's about as far as we've gotten. Besides using it as our Instagram for when we go to like the CDL events, we'll spam post on there all the content.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely in the works. But yeah, have a good day, everybody.
Peace.